Welcome back to my channel. I call this the crazy troll nation of YouTube, and I call me Dion. I've been dubbed the troll guru. I got gloss on my teeth. In this video, I'm really excited for it. We're going to be playing with the new Nomad Iceland Wild Atlantic Way palette. This was gifted to me by Nomad. Thank you very much for sending this my way. And I do have a code. It's just Dion, D-I-O-N, which will save you 10% on all of your Nomad purchases and their sale items. If Iceland and Tokyo are still on sale, those are $19 a piece. If still on sale, you will get 10% off of that as well. So for yourself or for a gift or whatever, shop responsibly though. So even though I'm saying this, I'm not saying, you know, buy stuff. So this is what the box looks like. You've seen it. And it's very, like, I kind of want to go there. Like, this is, where's my postcard? I got stuff everywhere, y'all. As usual, what else is new? So this is the postcard. And this is the box. And on the back of the box, it says, intense color palette. There is one shade in here that is not considered eye safe. And it's in teeny tiny print on the side of the box. And it has Cobb Harbor, not intended for eye area. And Cobb Harbor is this bottom shade down here. So that shade is not intended for use around the eye area. I haven't heard anybody say that, but I realize if you do receive PR and you get it before it launches, you won't know. And because the print is so small, like, do people really read that? I do, because I'm looking for the last sentence, because usually that's the sentence that'll say. And also, if you look on the website, which is not there until after it launches, if you look under shadow descriptions, it will say not intended for eye area use, whatever the shadow name is, it will say that, but you don't know that until, you know, you get the box or you look on the website for it. So, but that's just a little tidbit. The PAO is 12 months, and so this should be good for at least 12 months after you open it. It says verdant and velvety eyeshadows formulated with extra fine pigments for lovely application and rich color, infused with red clover seed oil, full of antioxidants to help soothe skin. 11 grand mattes and 7 splendid shimmers inspired by the untamed and dramatic beauty of Ireland's west coast. And I should have been holding up the palette while I was reading the box. And it has, as usual, destination coordinates, the inspiration, the savage beauty. I love that. And this palette, this launch is supporting, I know it's somewhere, I'll read it off of the postcard. The cause: we are proud to support Irish Wildlife Trust that works to raise awareness of Ireland's rich natural heritage and protect it for future generations. And, you know, it has destination, the usual palette, postcard information. The destination talks about the palette. I'm gonna read that one. The palette, Verdant Wild Beauty, a spectrum of Irish greens. Let me act like I know what I'm doing. Yeah, this is how it should be done, right? A spectrum of Irish greens, from soft moss and lush bogs to emerald gems and rich glens, sprinkled with sea blues and neutral touches of limestone, peat, and golden flowering plants. 11 grand mattes and 7 splendid shimmers inspired by the untamed and dramatic beauty of Ireland's west coast. So that's where this color story came from. They explain it to you, and it is true. If you have Nomad palettes from before, or if you've seen them, their destinations are represented in the palettes that they do as far as the color stories, and that's the whole purpose of Nomad. They go places and they come back and they give us some of what they saw, and it's a beautiful thing. And I am excited to use this palette. Of course, I've already used the palette, so you'll hear my first impressions at the end, but I am enjoying it. And it's not a monochromatic green palette, and I say that for first impressions at the end. So this video is long as hell, so let's just get into the looks. If you want to skip, there are timestamps. Of course, I would love for you to stay. If you want to just, did I get gloss on my teeth again? No. If you want to skip seeing the process of the first look, skip to look 2 and then just back up to see the final look 1 and hear my thoughts if you want to hear what my thoughts are about the look. For look 2, skip to look 3 and just back up and see that one. For final impressions, skip to that and then back up to see the final look 3, which is this one, and to hear my thoughts about the look. So, but again, I would love for you to stay. If you enjoy my content, I would love for you to subscribe, like the videos you like, comment, or thumbs down the videos you don't like. I would love for you to join, become an official member of the Troll fam, and share my videos, that you find interesting. So, I forgot to tell you, I do curse in my videos sometimes, because I curse sometimes, period. And also what I forgot to tell you is my throat, I don't know what lives in there, but I gurgle, hiccup, and belch just randomly. So that's kind of what, it was something going on in there. But let's get into these looks. We're going to start with Cake Batter Chapstick. We're going to jump right in. And I have a plan to use every shade in this palette except one, because one of these is not considered safe for eye use, and it is Cobb Harbor, this shade down here. And I didn't hear anyone mention it. It's in very fine print on the side of the palette. And if you look up shadow descriptions on the website, it will say this one is not intended for use in the eye area. So that will be the only one that I will not use. And so for this look, we're going to do these 2 columns. This is what we're doing. So we're just going to jump in. Everything is done on the face. The eyes are primed. We're going to take this shade right here, and that's going to go, I need to move this paper, I think. And that's going to go on the innermost and the outermost corners of our eyes. You know what? I messed up already because I never take the darkest shade we're using all the way out. I take the second darkest. And so what that means is bring this further, and then the lighter shade we will, this is powdery, just I tapped off the brush though, so it doesn't really matter to me. And so we're going to finish this, and then we're going to come back with the next shade. We're going to take this shade right here, and that's going to go on the outermost and innermost corners, which is what, these are very powdery, but it's not a problem because I do just tap off my brush. So this is going to go all the way out and all the way in. Usually I do place the lightest shade first and have the gradient moving inward. These are very, very, very powdery. I'm kind of surprised by that for some reason. Maybe because I haven't used a new Nomad palette in a while, a new release one in a while. But so this is what we're looking like. We're going back to the first brush, and we're just going to just overlap that second shade, the light shade, with that first shade, which is on the inside. So this is just going to help us keep that gradient. I heard someone say if you don't want a green look, don't use any of the greens, but because there's greens in every column, every row almost, we're going to have a lot of green looks. And that's okay, because then we'll come back later and do a not so green look. But this is a green palette. It is representing Ireland. I'm having problems keeping shadow in this crease area here, and so I'm thinking I didn't blend out the primer properly. I don't know, because I don't have problems with the Fenty primer and shadows not sticking. Now we're going to take this shade right here, and that's going to go on the inside. Oh, this whole pan is moving in the palette as I'm putting the brush in it and going like this. The entire pan is moving, and I don't know their pans to be magnetic. Someone's video I saw, this shade, the pan was not in the palette. Like when I opened it, it just completely fell out. And even doing this, I can see that pan moving. So let me not turn it upside down because I don't want it to fall out. And if it does, I'll just put glue on it. So we're putting this here on the inside and the outside. And I did think to do this first because they're shimmers. This whole thing is really just moving in the pan. That hasn't happened to me before. This is giving me some fallout, which I don't care about, because we're going to pretend it's highlighter. It's okay. It is okay. We're going to go back with the second this shade, but we're not going to add more. So we're going to go back with that brush, and we're just going to overlap just to remove the loose particles from that shimmer shade that we put there. This is interesting. I think, yeah, I'm wondering what's happening because I did prime both my eyes and I do have quite a bit of fallout. I know. Use glitter glue. My lids don't tolerate glitter glue, so please understand that. And usually I don't have a problem with the shadow sticking. And I'm concerned because for some reason the Fenty primer, I don't know if I just missed an area or what. Now we're going to take this shade down here and we're going to put that on the center of the lid. This one is not moving in the pan as I'm swiping the brush in it, but it is chunking up just a little bit. And yeah, quite a bit is flaking off. And we're just going to do straight down the center. This is reminding me of a look I did with DD's Signature. Which palette was it? The one where the look was green and we had gold in the center. That's what this is reminding me of. And I don't remember which palette that was. I want to say caramel, but I don't know. So this is basically the look. So we're just doing this just to get this blend at the top edge. And yeah, this is kind of it. So it's an easy look. My face is a mess. And I did spray it in everything. This is a massive amount of fallout. Can you tell though? Or is it just blending in with my highlighter? And I have one Radiant Light, and I sprayed my face already with the Scandinavia spray, which gives an luminosity to my skin. But we're just going to keep going because we don't stop here. Now we're going to go in with this shade here, and we're going to put this under our brow. And I think I want to use a larger brush. So we're going to put that away and take this one. Ironically, I had this one out first, and then I put it away. This one doesn't seem as powdery as the other matte shadows, and it may have just been the brush that I was using. And I'm thinking for the matte shades we used on the lid that I should have used a more dense brush because I had to put in quite a bit of work to build up that deep green, which kind of surprised me, and that's why I edited some out because it was just taking me longer than I thought it was going to take. So oh, that just really blends in to my skin tone. Wow, that looks like a lot of blank space up there. And so I'm wanting to take one of them greens, and that's what I'm going to do. We're going to take another blending brush, and we're going to go into this one, which is the second shade that we used, that we ended up putting all the way out. And we're just going to tap straight in, and we're going to just lightly, with the tip of the brush, just place that here because there's just a lot of blank space up here because that bone shade did just blend in to my complexion. Yeah, it really did. So we're going to just put this here just to eliminate some of this space. And so yeah, so now you see where it is a light greenish in this area versus just that bone shade. So we're doing stuff on the fly here, y'all. We're making it work. Yep, I'm excited to use this palette, and it is an addition to my green palettes, and I will show a video, do a video of my green palettes because this is unique to my collection. It's still a lot of space, but I'm digging it. I do like the look. Now we're going to lower lash line. We have one Sephora 12-hour retractable eyeliner, waterproof 04 matte terracotta, and on our inner rims, upper and lower, we have NYX retractable eyeliner in deep blue. So now we're going to take this shade here, and we're going to put this on our lower lash line, and we're going to see what that does. And so we're using everything in these first two columns. I wanted to do something different. I know it's a green look, I know. But as far as the shadows that we used, I was thinking, what can I do different? Because I know these looks with this palette are, there's quite a few. And so sometimes what I do with a new palette, I do looks in columns. This is an 18 pan palette, or I'll do looks in rows and then do looks in columns, just to ensure that I am using every shade in the palette. And so that's my purpose for doing that. And also, so hope I'm doing a different type of look. Now we're going to a different type than what we've been saying. Now we're going to take this shade and we're going to put that right in the center, which is this center shade right here. And hopefully it won't give me any problems. So we're just going to put that right there. This is a flaky shade. And so I'm being careful that it's not going to flake and puff upward into my eye, because it is getting caught in my eyelashes. And so I am concerned about my eye. And yes, I could have sprayed my brush. That's not something I do because I'm just too lazy. I just want to put a brush in the shadow and put it on, and it worked. And it doesn't take me, you know, a long time to do looks. And it doesn't take long to spray the brush either. I'm only going to, you know what? No, I'm not. Wait a minute. The brush that had that bone shade on it, we're just going to just do this just to get off loose particles from in my eyelashes so that they don't get into my eye. So that's our only purpose right now for doing this. I do have like massive fallout all the way down here, it's everywhere. But this is the look. What else are we going to do? So that was all 6 of these shades right here. So now what we're going to do, we are going to take, y'all know we got to do something funky to break up the green. We're going to put Terrible Vision from Milk Cosmetics on our upper lash line. We're going to do that. We're going to put on mascara. We're going to pick out a lip, excuse me, and then we'll be back with the finished look. This is our finished look. I meant to pick up the brown and somehow we ended up with black cherry. Do we even have a brown? No, this is the brown. Because next to these two, I'm like, oh, I'll use the brown, but it's not. This is actually Black Cherry number 27, Sephora collection. This is our finished look, y'all, and I like the look. It does remind me of a look I did with one of the DD Signature skewer palettes, though. But this is what we have. What I did, because of all the fallout, I went back with more Radiant Light, because it does add radiance. And so I just put a ton more in this area of my face. And I don't really see the fallout. So, you know, sometimes we can just work with it without it being like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Especially for those of us who do our face first. And we did use the Cultura for our upper lash line. I think was a good choice. It broke up the green. The wings came out almost straight, so I'm happy with that. Still not my black lip. But I'm digging this look. Hang tight for look number 2. Okay, so y'all, when I turn the palette, by accident, that shadow did fall out. It's not at all attached, but I do have super glue. And so we're just gonna, we're gonna just put this back in here. Wow. So that's what had happened to the other person with this one down here, the one that's not considered for eye use, but yes, I just wanted to share that with you because I think it's a little hilarious. Yeah, that has never happened to me before, and I just turned it upside down. It just completely just fell out. And I do see the glue spot in the palette, and maybe because it was just on the side and not in the center, I don't know. And on the back of the pan, like, there is no glue at all. So that is not a big deal though, because I have super glue right here. So we're gonna put that in and all will be well. So seriously, we'll be right back in a moment. Starting with Pumpkin Pie Chapstick. The face is done. We primed the lids. Today's look is going to be very matte heavy because the 2 columns that we're using... Is this almost done? Oh, no, it's not. Oh, I'm almost done my bathroom chapstick. But my makeup station chapsticks, they are lasting long. And so the 2 columns that we're using today are these 2. And so there's only this one shimmer. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I have brushes laid out. We're going to get started. We're going to take this shade right here. And I know I'm not saying the names of them because I know I'm going to butcher them. Before I dig too far into this, so you can see, I already ruined the embossment in this one. But before I ruin any more, this is the one we're in right now that I tapped into. And it's like a perfect clover, and I was about to ruin it. So I just wanted you to see. I don't know what's in this one. This one is, it's like a friendship ring. I think that's what they called it back in the day. It's 2 hands with a heart in the middle and a crown on top of the heart. So that's what's in here. And of course it's upside down because I'm holding the palette upside down. So these are the embossments. I'm looking at this one and it's a castle. It's upside down, of course. So these are what they all look like. This one, I don't know what that is. It's a building, but it looks like it's going out, well, going out across a lake. Wait, sometimes you have like a rock formation that spans out into the water, where that you can walk on, and then there's wood on both sides. I forget what they're called, but that's what that looks like in there. Don't know if you can see that. But anyway, let's get to ruining. And where am I putting this? Oh, we're doing another halo kind of thing. Let me tilt my mirror or use the mirror in here. So we're going all the way out. Really? Why am I putting the dark shades all the way out? This is not how I do my halos. Was I not paying attention? I don't think I was paying attention. Or I thought I was doing like outward to inward and not doing a halo look. Let me adjust my mirror down here. Yeah, or you know what, y'all? I didn't wash my brushes that I used for the first look for whatever reason. And I think I just got distracted and caught up on other stuff. Because I did cut my hair again, and then what did I do? And then I washed it, of course. And I do wash it like 2 or 3 times a week. Well, what hair I have. And then I got into my sauna blanket, watched a movie, did some other stuff. I don't know why I have the darkest shade all the way out. I'm going to edit out doing this on the other eye. Now I'm going to take this shade right here, and that's going to go inside of the first shade. This is so pretty. Wow. So this is going to go in here. I am like so backwards. Like, I don't know. I think I wasn't paying attention, because I like my halos better with the darkest shade here and the lighter shade all the way in and all the way out. So I just wasn't paying attention, I guess. And so to do this 2 days in a row, well, 2 looks in a row, it's just like, what's happening? But we're going to see. There's a strong scent of peppermint. I don't know if you were here for it or if you remember, if you saw it, when I did one of my haul videos and I got a new insect spray. And this one is, you know, safe for, you know, humans and pets. Not that you're spraying your humans and pets, but how it gets in the air or your carpet or whatever. And some of you said to let you know how it worked. And I don't have it here to show you, which is appropriate because this is a makeup video, not a haul video with insect spray. But it has a very strong scent of peppermint. And there was like a beetle near my makeup station. It was on the floor, on the carpet. I sprayed the heck out of it. And so I've been wearing my slippers when I come to this area because I haven't checked the carpet to see if it's dry, but the scent of peppermint is like super, super strong, to the point where I opened my windows, had my fan on, and peppermint smells good, but it's just like, okay, and I did spray a lot because that's what I do. And I think spring is trying to come in for real, because yesterday was 72 degrees here in Delaware. Today it was like 71 degrees, and then it dropped down to like in the upper 40s after the sun went down. But I do think spring is trying to make an appearance. And so having my balcony door open, even though I have a screen, you know, small insects do find their way in, like little beetles and, you know, stuff like that. So I'm having that same issue with getting shadow in here in the crease. This is the first brush. We're going to tap in lightly. And I did make sure that I blended the primer in my crease. So I had that same issue yesterday. Actually, was it today? This is still that first brush. And I'm going to take the second brush. Yeah, I think it was almost midnight when I started that look, the first look. And I don't know what happened, but this whole area is red. This is red. This is all red. This is red. And I did put my cream on last night. I don't know what the heck was going on with what is going on with my skin. Now we're going to take this shade here and we're going to put this in the center lid. But you know what I want to do? I'm going to take that second shade over some more, because I do remember that I like just having a sliver of the shimmer in the middle because of my eye shape, because of all this puffiness. When I put a lot of shimmer across this area, it just seems to make my puff protrude, and I don't like that look on me. So I found I like it better just a sliver, unless we're doing like light to dark and the whole lid is shimmer. But when it's not the entire lid being shimmery, to me it just looked kind of weird having a wide patch of shimmer and dark here and then dark here. So this is what we got. Hey, y'all are getting ready with me. I'm going to Trader Joe's after I do this look. Now we're going to take this shade here, the only shimmer in this row. This is a heart. That's what it looks like. Well, it did until I just like ruined it. We're just going to come straight down and straight down, and then we're going to come back. We're going to do this way. I do have thoughts already about the palette from the 6 shades we used in the first look. I like the gradient, very green, but I'm loving the gradient though, because you can see the darker this shade, and then it is a different shade than this one. It does show up different. And then this is nice. So we're going to go side to side. But I am liking this. Someone said this is a monochromatic green palette. I don't think so. We'll talk about that more later. Let me just get this look done. I want to keep the clips short because the video is going to be long. So let me just keep going. I do like this. Yeah, but it's not monochromatic. I've seen blue looks with this palette. I've seen orange coppery looks with this palette. Of course, I've seen green looks with this palette. If this was a monochromatic green palette, you wouldn't be able to do brown looks and copper looks. So it's not just a strictly monochromatic green palette. And that's what I am liking about it so far. But hopefully I will talk more about that later. If I remember when I do the first impressions portion at the end, we'll see. So I'm thinking this looks a little harsh. We're going to take the brush that had that second shade, this shade. We're not adding more on the brush, but we are just feathering across the top. And we do have a shade to put here, but I want to soften this line just a little bit before we put the other shade up here. And I do have a transition shade, but I don't know where that's going to end up at because, ooh, that's nice. Because this is the transition area, so but we're still going to put it, see what happens, because we're using 6 shades. This could be the look. Put on some eyeliner if you want to, and mascara. Lower lash line, we have Matte Color Excess Gel Pencil Eyeliner, Pool Shark, and same brand, same name, glider dye on our inner rims, upper and lower. So now we're going to take this shade right here, and that is going to go under our brow. And so what's weird is the brush I'm using for transition is smaller than this one that we're using for the brow, so that's kind of strange. But then I'm strange. A while ago I said in a video that I was weird, or I forget exactly what I was talking about, and somebody commented that I'm wonderfully weird or something like that. And so I commented, well, they said I'm not weird, I'm wonderful. That's what they said. So thank you for that. I was like, oh. And so I commented back saying, well, can I be wonderfully weird or weirdly wonderful? And they co-signed on that. So I'm like, okay. So that was pretty cool, because I like being different. And to some people, different is weird. And so when I say I'm weird, it's not like a bad thing. So this is pretty. This is pretty. So now we're going to take, there's a lot of kick up in the pan, not a problem for me though. Now we're going to take this shade right here. And this was going to be in our transition area. So we're going to, and it's taking a smaller blending brush. We're tapping straight in. This is another harp that we're ruining. And we're going to put that like right on the line. And so, yeah, you see where that is. Ooh, okay. We're going to go back and blend that. So we're just putting this like right on the line between the top edge of, I'm going to wipe that brush off. And then we're going to go back and blend the top edge of where the lid shades and the brow bone shade meet. So that's where we're putting the so-called transition. Okay, this is a good blend out, buff out shade because it's lighter, but it did blend into the other lid shades. And yes, I have on a blue shirt on purpose, and yes, I'm going out like this because if you've been here, you know I don't color coordinate my clothes. And now we're going to take this one here for lower lash line. We're going to destroy the clover. Actually, we're not destroying the clover, so we're tapping inside of the clover. And we're going to put this down here. I was going to say something else because I'm not good at saving my thoughts to the end, but hopefully I'll remember. I'm excited, y'all. There's a thing coming up. I know, another thing, right? I'm always doing things. Lie can't never lie. But I'm really excited about it. And I had wanted to do it, but I didn't really know like what to do. And so the opportunity presented itself, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. And I may do that video later. I don't know if you'll see this one first or that one first. Probably this one first. Yeah, that one will air the last week in March. This is pretty. I like this look. I really like that green shimmer in the center, even though I do all matte looks sometime. And I don't have the fallout that I had yesterday from that look, but it does just break it up because it has that shimmer like right in the middle. That's cute. So what I want to do too is I'm going to take a smaller pencil brush, actually just a dense smudger brush. And we're going to take that center shade on the lid and we're going to put that in the center of the lower lash line. So we're just going to like press and wiggle right here just to have a little bit of shine under the eye, and I don't know if that's showing up. We're just going to just put this right here in the middle. We're going to try to. Ooh, okay, just a little bit there. We're going to do the same thing over here. That's cute. So it's kind of like there but not there, because this shadow does blend in. I like this shade. It's not flaky like the other ones we used yesterday. That's cute. So when you turn, you do. Oh, there we go. So now what we're gonna do. That's it. We've used all 6 of these shades. So now what we're gonna do. We're gonna take Kotora for upper lash line, and we're gonna do that. We're gonna put on mascara, and then we're gonna do a lip, and then we come back, and everything will be done. This here is our finished look for Lips. We did the Nomad gloss, and the shade is Aegean. And yeah, so I'm digging the look. Very green, very monochromatic green, but I think it is really pretty. I'm loving the shimmer in the center, and I'm loving that we put the shimmer in the center on lower lash line. Of course, I like the eyeliner choice for upper lash line because it just breaks it up. Adds a little punk element to it, adds a little visual interest, breaks up all the green. Oh, also what we did that you may see now that I'm pointing it out, we took a line of that Kotora and put just here under the brow. So that's right there. So you can see it, but then you don't see it because, as you can tell from down here and from up here, it does, excuse me, almost blend into my complexion. So I thought that was a safe thing to do, even though I'm going out, because it's a there, not there type of thing. So this is the look. Hang tight for look number 3. And swatches and my first impressions. We're just going to do swatches because I have a video, we're holding it upside down, and I'm not sure where I'm going to fit this in yet or do it separate. So we are going to go across this row, then come down do this row, come down and do this row. I will be using sponge tip applicators. So this shade right here, I'm not going to try and pronounce them because I know I'm going to butcher some. So we're just going to just try to move through this as quick as possible. So that's that shade. Very pretty. Moving next to it, Blarney Stone. I just said I wasn't going to pronounce, right? Some of them I'm not. That's that one. This shade here in the middle. And I meant to do smaller to try to fit all 6 across, but I don't think that's going to happen. That's pretty. This shade. And yes, this is what's on my eyes today. You probably figured that out. So that is that one. This one, I was really thinking I can get them all 6 across, so at least we can group them according to rows, but that's not happening. This shade here in the corner. That is that one. Come down to the second row, this shade. And we're going to turn the brush over and do the one next to it, this shade. So that way we can just try to move quicker. So that first one in the middle row and the second one in the middle row. Now we're going to do this shade here, which is the Mild Rover, and Emerald Isle, which is that one. Sponge tips are nice. So that one and this one. And then we're going to do this shade here and then this one. I am able to go quicker, not trying to pronounce and then try to edit. So this shade and that shade. Oh, I need another sponge tip. Probably 2 more because we got 6 more shades. We're going to come down here to the bottom row, this shade and then that one. This one is Flaky. And the one next to it on the bottom row. Now we're going to do this one and this one. I'm liking doing both at the same time instead of going back and forth. This is rich. Wow. Okay, one more sponge tip. Savage Beauty and this shade over here. This one is not considered safe for eye area usage. It's in really small print on the flap on the package, and it's also, if you look at the description on the website, it'll say this one is not intended for eye use area, so I will not be using this one on my eye area. But so these are the last 2. We're going to do the nose. We're going to contour our nose. So that's that one. And this is the one that's not considered eye safe, which is Cobb Harbor, which is very pretty. But I won't be using that on my eye area. So this is the palette. I can't even say top row, middle row, skin for snake on bottom row because they're all just everywhere. But green palette, but not monochromatic green, because you have some of the bluish tones. This is almost like a blurple, and you have the lighter tones. You have some coppers, and this blue. And people have been using it on the lids. Some people don't have the sensitivities that I do. So, but this won't be on my lid. So, but I'm liking this palette. So, see where we can fit this in and just keep on going. We're gonna start with Tillamook Mint Chocolate Chip Ice Cream Scented and Flavored Lip Balm. I love this. I do. And it holds fond memories for me. So we're gonna do the third look today. The face is done, as you see. We primed the lids. We're using these 2 columns today, except for this, and I've already said why. So we're going to be using these 5 shades. So this is going to be not green. It's going to be different. So I'm excited to see what happens. So we're going to take Savage Beauty, this shade here, and that's going to go on the first portion of the lid, the inner lid. So we're going to pat that there. And yeah, there it is. Boom, there it is. Boom, there it is. Boom, shaka, laka, shaka. I just got shadow in my eye. That's what I get for trying to be jiggy with it. Instead of just sitting here being calm. Put on the eyeshadow. That is pretty. Today is the day I received that other package, but we're not going to talk about that because this is this video. But I'm super excited, and I'm very sleep deprived. I did not sleep well, and I don't know why. I don't, other than the temperature kept fluctuating, hot then cold and hot then cold, but I felt rested when I woke up, but that only lasted for like an hour. And then I had errands to run, and I'm exhausted, and I have a migraine, which I do believe is from sleep deprivation this time. Now we're going to take Slain, this shade here. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. It's not Slain. That is not how it's pronounced. That's not even how it's spelled. So we're going to put this next to here. Oh, this is bright. This is pretty. I do have thoughts about the palette, so I'm hoping I don't forget like some of the other thoughts that I had when we did the previous clips, because I'm really not good at holding my thoughts to the end, especially because I do each look on a different day. So it's not like I'm doing, you know, one look, one eye, another look, another eye, and then wash it off and then do a third look. Yeah, my lids don't tolerate that. The only time I can do 2 looks in a day is if I do a look maybe at like 2 or 3 in the morning because I'm nocturnal, and then I go to sleep, you know, around 10 a.m. and I get up in the afternoon. It's still the same day, and I'll do a second look. It's still the same day, but it's been like 8 hours in between, you know what I mean? But wiping off an eyeshadow look and putting on another one, my lids are like, no, that's too much. And I think it's just the removal process, because you're wiping across your lids, and that's just too much for me. I do have a little bit of fallout. Oh, and it is not wiping away. I did spray my face, and I do have one Radiant Light, and the Scandinavia one I'm using, this is used up, which is good because I'm going to put that, the makeup remover Scandinavia spray in this one for when I travel. Now we're going to take this shade, and we're going to put that on the outer portion of the lid. Yeah, these shadows will stay because the fallout ain't moving on my face, but because it kind of blends in. Sometimes when I watch my videos back, I know it's fallout on my face because certain angles, it'll be like one little bright speck, or how you see this bright speck down here, it'll be one bright speck over there. But just looking overall, it's just like, where is it? And so the good thing is that it usually does blend in to my complexion, and maybe because it's just not really sparkly. And I think that one fell off because that one, oh yeah, I still see it. It's actually in my lashes, and I just took it out. And so I don't make a big deal out of fallout. Like, if it's obsessive, and what worked for me, one of the looks, was it the first look? I added more Radiant Light, and that covered up and camouflaged the fallout. So I'm like, okay. And that won't work for me in the summer, because in summer I don't use Radiant Light from Hourglass. I tend to use Dim Light, because Radiant Light gives me so much luminosity that it looks like a fairy shit on my face. It's just like, just got sparkles every friggin' where. But in the winter it works well because my complexion is different, because once I'm tan, like, those glitter particles be shining, 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 shining. But like right now they don't. And so I can kind of get away with fallout. And if not, just be like, hey, you like my highlighter? It's not that serious, y'all. I know for some people it is, but I do makeup for fun. Like, if I was doing makeup on somebody else, yeah, I would be, you know, shitting bricks. Like, how can I fix this? But because it's just my face and I'm just here, this is so easy. I have flakes in my lashes over here because when I'm looking up, I'm seeing sparkles. Just don't get in my eye. And some did earlier. I see it in my lashes. Oh, wow. I do have one Fire Opal from House Labs. So if you see like an orangey yellow here, that's what that is. And the Sigma blush, which has a built-in highlighter, because when I put it on, even when I don't put on highlighter, it looks like I have highlighter on, which I think is hella cool. Now we're going to take this shade here, and we're going to do an outer V. This is why I say this is not a green monochromatic palette, because it ain't green. This is not a green look, not at all. And I have seen blue looks with this palette using these two shades and other shades in here, and also maybe this one down here, but it's not, you know, a green monochromatic palette. And that's what I like. One of the things I like about it. Here I go with my thoughts. Let me shut up. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, we're going to drag this over a little bit. Wait, do we have a shade that? Yeah, we do. So let me just stop this right here. That's pretty. I'm going to blend this right here and get a little closer to the brow. Yeah. Ooh, that's nice. What shade was that? Oh. Because it turned brown. So I'm like, what shade was that? That was this shade, the blue. So I was kind of thrown off. Like, wait a minute. There's not brown in here. But, yeah, I think I'm debating whether or not to eat first. Because I'm going to take a migraine med. And I'm going to let it go ahead and knock me out. Because I do need to sleep. And so I think I need to eat first. Otherwise, I may not sleep well because I'll be hungry. And I do need to. And then when I do get up, I will cook dinner. And what's the other thing? Oh, edit this video. Edit this clip. The other two clips are already edited. And so edit this one and then, you know, put them all together. And I still need to do the outro and the intro and whatever. But yeah, I like this. Okay. And I like how the orange is peeking through. Like right here. Oh, she cute. Now we're going to take this shade here. This one. And we're going to tap that here. I was going to say something, but I'm going to have to really just try to remember my thoughts. So I don't know if I will or not, but. And I didn't do too much final thoughts after each look because we're doing first impressions after we do this third look. And by the time I do the look, it's like I don't even remember like what I was thinking at that moment. This is cute. And that doesn't look dusty. Just a tiny bit it does. We're going to go back to the brush to add this shade on there. We're not adding more on the brush. We're just going to put this here because that to me is where it's just looking a little dusty. So we're just going on top of the line where the two meet. This side doesn't, and I think because that blue was higher up, but this side is looking just a tad dusty. Tapping in very lightly. Barely even touch the brush to the shadow. Yep. And now on that side looks like this side. No, don't. I ain't gonna lie to y'all or myself. Now we're going to take lower lash line. We have MAC Cosmetics Color Excess Gel Pencil Eyeliner, excuse me, and it's called Sick Tat Bro. Like sick tattoo, bro. And now we're going to take, what are we taking? We're taking this shade, and we're going to take a stubby smudger brush, and we're going to just press and wiggle. This is a flaky shade. Yeah, it is. When I opened this palette today, there was like glitter particles in here, and I'm like, I kept it laying flat. So it's like, why is stuff moving? I have not had any issue with that first shade in the upper left corner once I glued it in. So I put glue, is it Gorilla Glue? Yeah, Gorilla Glue. Yeah, I put some Gorilla Glue inside the pan, inside the palette, and then I ran like a couple beads along the bottom of the pan, and because the bottom of the pan is grooved, I made sure to get on top of the groove, and then I put the pan in, and then I just pressed it and held it for how many seconds it say you should hold it. And it has not wiggled since. I haven't used it since, but the way it looks, like it is solid in there. And so that looks to be fine. We're going to take the brush that we used for this shade, and we're just going to do this because this is and I'm closing my eye because that's a flaky shade, and we already got, ooh, jeez, yeah, we got a lot of fallout. We got a lot of fallout. So we're going to edit out. So these were the 5 shades here, not this one. And I do like this look. So these are these 5 shades. So we're going to edit out, putting on Inglot Cosmetics number 79 upper lash line. We're going to put on, excuse me, the only mascara that I have open right now. And we're going to figure, excuse me, a lip. And then we're going to come back with the finished look. This is the finished look. And so for the lip, what we did was Nema Tang's chocolate chip lip liner, and we put on Fenty cream gloss bomb and cookie jar that was gifted to me by Grace. So this is the finished look, and this is what we have. What do I like about it? This lip is giving me 80s vibes. I like the look. I really do. Like, I seriously do. And even though this one shade is borderline ashy on me, when I blended it with the blue, and it's still looking borderline ashy. And so for next time when I use it, this is the shadow, the brush that had that shadow on it, I'll just take the blue. If I do this look again, I just know to just cover it up a little bit more. See, even for me right now, that looks a little bit better. But yes, I do like the look though. I like the lip with this look. I just wanted to do something simple. And, you know, for once, the lip coincides with the eye look because you have this cookie jar color and this orange just peeking through in the corner. The brown, you know, brown liner underneath. Yeah, so that'll be it for the video. And so what I'll do now is I'll just do my first impressions of this palette. Is that what we're doing? Yeah. First impressions of this palette. The shimmers in here, because even just having used these two and this one, it's messy. This one gave, well, yeah, the shimmers. All the shimmers, except, I want to say this one didn't give me a lot of fallout, and I forget where we even put it. But this one gave me a lot of fallout. This one gave me an astronomical amount of fallout. These two, yeah. And it was falling out into my lashes. And I did put on more radiant light underneath. And so it does help to camouflage that. So it's really not a big deal. And if you're a person who does your eyeshadow first and your base face second, then it's less of a big deal. But it's not even a big deal to me at all. I was excited when I saw this shade because it's very pretty, but I'm not able to use it. But I'm okay with that. I am okay with not using one shade out of 18 because that gives me 17 shades to still play with. The mattes are wonderful. They blend fine, just like, you know, regular Nomad mattes. What oil is in this palette? That I don't know. Where's the box? My box is under the other box. Let me try to grab this as quick as possible because I know this video was long and then I snuck in swatches. You know, we'll talk about that in the beginning. It has red clover seed oil in it, but we'll do the intro after this and we'll talk about the palette and do the details. But everything blended out really fine. I'm seeing flakes of shadow. This shadow, it was pieces in here. So stuff is moving. I don't know why. Everything worked really fine. Everything showed up really well. This shade and this one, they didn't make me look as ashy as I thought. And so for me, it's going to be just placement or just using it under the brow and then making sure I blend another color as a transition shade to try to help it not look ashy. But I am liking this palette. The first looks were very green. We used these 2 columns. We got 3 greens. We used these 2. We got 2 just plain greens, and then this shade, and this one is a deeper one, but it still has, well, it's like a blue undertone to it, but like I don't know, teal undertone. I don't know, I'm not good at describing colors, but I like the palette because it's not a green monochromatic palette. If it was a green monochromatic palette, I wouldn't be able to do this look with it, and I've seen people use these 2 shades. This is looking purple. So I've seen people do blue shades of what looked like blue eyeshadow looks with these 2 and this one. I've seen bronze copper looks, these 2 shades, these up here. And so excuse me if you heard that, my throat. So if it was a green monochromatic palette, you would only be able to do green looks. and I'm seeing different color eyeshadow looks. And so I like that this palette, even though it is green based, that it does have versatility to it. And I like the packaging, and it is the velvet fill. And people were saying, "Oh, it's like the Okavango palette," and I kept saying to myself, Orient Express had the same fill, and the only person I heard that said it was Grace, Joe Beauty 87. She was like, "Oh, this is like Orient Express." So I think that was just, you know, before whoever, you know, started using Nomad. I don't know, but yeah, the first one I think that had this feel to it was Orient Express, and then Okavango, which was not too long ago, and now this one. I've heard people say, you know, they wish that the box was what the palette looked like. I'm not upset at that, because even if you just do this, it matches the box. You got the colors here, and I do think that the palette does represent Ireland, which is what it's supposed to represent. And so I've heard some people say, oh, they wish there was a deeper brown, or just a brown in here, a deep brown, or whatever. And I'm like, well, is that what they saw? You know what I'm saying? The palette, the shadows, to me, do represent Ireland. And reading comments, people are like, oh, I love this palette, I'm from Ireland, and it does look like, you know, the country. And so I'm just like, appreciate it for what it is. And I do like it for what it is. I do understand, though, that for deeper complexions, they may feel like they don't have a transition shade. If you do transition shade, crease shade, lid shade, outer corner, if you do your look the typical YouTuber's way, then yeah, you might feel like you don't have transition shades, or you might not have anything to deepen up. You can deepen with this depending on what you want to do. These two you can deepen, and also this one. And you see how it turned out over this shade. It turned like a black brown. So there are some deepening shades in here. So it depends on your placement strategy, like how I do inside outside or outside inside. I don't do traditional transition and increase. So it depends on how you do your makeup. It depends on if you're willing to try something different other than always going in with transition shade first and then saying, oh, there's not one in here for me. But I do understand that if you do have a deep complexion, a very melanated complexion, I do think this palette will still work for you, but I think it may be challenging because of the lighter tones in here. Because even looking at these 6 shades, yeah, this will pop on you, and this will look nice on you. But what about these? Are they just going to just look muted? You know what I mean? The shimmers are definitely going to pop, but the mattes, the lighter tone mattes, you know, is that going to work? And so that's something that I'm questioning as I'm looking at it. Overall, though, you know, so far, I am really enjoying this palette. This is my 3rd look. You've seen me do all 3 of them. It is messy. There's shadow all through the palette, and all I'm doing is just holding it up and talking to you. And like shadow is on the mirror where it wasn't before. So I mean, it is a little messy, and the shadows are, you know, flaking, but it's not a big deal. And I do just run my finger along and just clean it up. And so we're going to end this here. I am excited about this palette. Thank you, Nomad, for gifting me this palette. I'm really excited for it, and I do again love that there is versatility in it. You can do looks other than green, and we're going to do some more looks that are not so green based. The first 2 very green, especially the last one. It was just a green look, period. But we're going to come back and we're going to do, you know, more looks that are not just all green, because I want to see what else this palette can do. And so those are my first impressions on this palette. I do really like it, and I'm glad to have it because it is unique to my collection. I have 3 other green palettes. This is unique. This is very unique from the other 3 that I have, which is great because y'all know I don't like dupes in my collection. But we're going to go. Thank you for being here. If you made it through to the end, put a troll emoji and a clover emoji and a high five emoji. High five to you because you made it to the end. Thank you so much for being here. As always, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that. Like if you like the video, comment, share, join the membership, all of that good stuff. And yeah, as always, self-acceptance, self-love, that is the Crazy Troll Nation way. Thank you, and you will see me real soon.